and address the elephant in the room. So we know that Springfield has left, and it's unfortunate. This is now from me and my 2 cents on this. It's unfortunate that regional planning has become so political. Okay, we would like to acknowledge that the capital region is located on Treaty 1 territory, the ancestral lands of the Innu, Anishinaabe, Anishinaabe, Dene, Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, and is the homeland of the Red River Métis. We also acknowledge Shoal Lake 40, Treaty 3 territory sources water to the city of Winnipeg. We are committed to working in collaboration and partnership with First Nations and the Red River Métis in the spirit of truth and reconciliation.
Thank you. First up is the adoption of the agenda. Anybody move that? All right, Ken will move that. I'll second Delmer. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. Thank you. Then we also have the December 11th meeting minutes. If I can get a motion to approve that. Wes, motion, Janice second. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. Thank you. All right. First item I want to address is, as you know, in December, our vice chair had to step down due to various obligations that Elizabeth had, and therefore that leaves us without a vice chair. Given that, current discussions, the fact that we've got these changes to 37 coming up, and we don't know what they all will be, what's going on there. This is a provincially appointed position, so it's not like we can appoint a vice chair. Therefore, what I'm recommending, and we brought this up with the executive, so it's not something new to anyone, is that we continue without a formal vice chair, but what we do in the event that the chair, myself, is not available for a meeting, that we promote from within someone to chair the meeting. They will not be the chair of the board or the vice chair of the board, because those are regulation appointed positions. We'll just ask someone to chair the meeting, and what the executive recommended is that Debbie, as the person who's kind of the senior executive position person, she's been on the executive since day one, that we would ask her to chair the meeting in the event that I'm not there, hit by a bus or whatever, one of Janice's buses. I'm not really looking for a motion, but consensus or opinion or whatever. I'm, again, as I have said before to the board, that technically and formally my appointment concludes the end of March. We don't know what's happening from then, and I know I'm here for the February and March meetings, so it shouldn't be an issue unless something comes up. But any opinion, anybody opposed that in the event I was not there, that Debbie would chair the meeting?
Your bylaws support that?
Really doesn't address it. And that's why we'd say she would not be the chair. Yeah. She would just chair that meeting. Because, we can't call anyone the chair or the vice chair.
She is the most senior person, so I think it's highly recommended.
I thought it would be easier. That's the way we discussed it. It exactly was just in the event of.
I would be in favor of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the bylaws like. Shane was saying, what does it say? I think it says in there about the chair must be present along with the city of Winnipeg. So
maybe we can check that.
Yeah, because technically, if they identify the chair as being that, then that's the position.
Yeah.
And there's no.
Well, it is the chair, as I say. We would not call Debbie the chair.
No, but then that's the requirement for the meeting.
I think Delmar.
Chair.
That's the only. I have no issue with Debbie. I think.
No, neither do I.
But Delmar might be right, because as I recall, a quorum requires the chair or vice chair to be and the city of Winnipeg.
Does it? Okay, we'll check that. No, that's a good
I'm
point.
not, I have great respect for Debbie, and I think she'd be
Yep.
great. I have no issue with that, but
Neither do I with
think it is
Debbie.
I think you might be right down.
More than be great, she'd be superior.
She'd be an improvement. No, way.
Exactly.
What were you?
Sam?
Thank you all very much.
I forget, are we asking then the province to appoint?
No.
We're not gonna do that.
No, we're not, because we have some upcoming changes
Right.
that we
Right.
think will be introduced in March when the
Right.
house opens. We kind of need to see what those changes are to the
I didn't
format.
do it.
Plus, again, with myself,
Yeah, with you staying or going.
technically done the end of March as per my appointment, then it would seem, you know, almost redundant for us to try to do something that wouldn't get done till that had all happened anyway.
Is it, I'm just wondering.
But that is correct, that the meeting has to have either the
Okay.
chair or vice chair. So I
Okay,
think
then-
but
So technically, we won't have a meeting.
we wouldn't have.
We
a
wouldn't have a
meeting.
meeting, okay.
Not an official meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, but
My apologies.
Look into
then
it.
if I'm sitting sitting in the hospital bed or whatever, I hook on remote.
We'll hook you up to Zoom.
We'll sit you up, you'll be fine.
Yeah, as I say.
Or on a golf
I'm
course.
Yeah, no, I'm not going south this year, so I'm here February and March's meeting, so it shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
All right. Boy, that was the shortest tenure ever, Debbie.
Right on.
Yeah, you sabotaged. All right, now we have some updates on the technical planning working group.
Okay, so we committed to providing everybody with updates on what the regional plan technical planning working group meetings were all about. And they are technical and it's all written in here and we provide it to your CAO so you understand exactly what that conversation was about. So the regional plan technical planners working group met in December for their third meeting, and at the meeting the group discussed water and economy themes focusing on local and regional challenges and opportunities. We also discussed the draft strategic goals and actions of each theme. So the working group is meeting next week on January 28th to continue discussions on the regional draft plan, and in return as well, it helps shape what this new regional plan is going to look like. Okay, so now for the regional progress report. I'm going here because I am going to do a presentation on the timeline quickly for you. But for the regional progress report, so we have now met with all municipal councils. The feedback from the latest council, you know, the concerns seem to be, this is from 6 months. Okay, so we also met with the city of Winnipeg, which concluded the engagement sessions. But with the last municipal council being St. Clements, the legislation, there were concerns about the timeline and the opt-out period. Communication, that clear, accessible, and aligned communication is required both from the province of Manitoba and the Winnipeg metropolitan region. So the fact that this the communications don't solely fall on us, and quite frankly, we don't have the budget to, as somebody suggested, put a sign on a bus. For us, that blows our communication budget. So we need that aligned communication with the province. Public participation, so emphasis on the need for robust public engagement. And so we have done the survey, and as we said, the survey had 1,000 responses, but there will be another stage of public engagement. We need to see what does that look like. And then collaboration, emphasize the importance of collaborating with other municipalities on infrastructure and services, and question the impact of CPR membership on the project prioritization. So, and then as I said, the regional plan technical planning working group met. Province of Manitoba, so Mike and I met with the Minister of Municipal and Northern Relations, and I will say, after our meeting, I sent an email on Monday, Mike and I were in the office on Wednesday. So he is taking your concerns very seriously. I also met with Minister Naylor. Natalie and I went to the Ledge to meet with Minister Naylor. And then our groups have been meeting with the various people in the departments of transportation, environment and climate change, sport, culture, heritage and tourism. So we are definitely doing some fulsome engagement. We will also be having meetings with agriculture, mining, and then Manitoba Business Trades and Jobs in the following weeks. Indigenous engagement, we've worked with a representative from Treaty 1 to develop an approach to engage First Nations. So we know that we don't have the duty to consult, but we need to consult prior to the plan being released and do our due diligence there. Additionally, we will be meeting with Treaty Land Technical Advisory Council, and we're hoping that's in February. We don't have a date on the books yet. And then as well, we sent a letter to President Chartrand requesting a meeting to discuss the regional plan with their elected leaders. We have yet to hear back, but the initial contact has been done. So for stakeholders, we met with Manitoba Nonprofit Housing Association, CMHC, as well as AMM, and that was AMM was a great meeting in my opinion. And then we did talk about, like, if we're looking at the successes of our relationship, I guess it would be this toolkit. That's one of the first things that we've done together. That's very useful for the municipalities, and it benefits us definitely understanding their perspective on all of this. So, and does everybody have this? Have you seen this?
If you guys
See it.
haven't looked at it, I had to dive deep on the AMM website to find it. It's at a specific location. It's a little tough to find. I've asked for a better link. But in here, there are policies and helpful tools, because we're seeing what's going on in the arm of Alexander, the shooting at the grader, the targeting of the employees. Unfortunately, there's procedure and protocol or a helpful guide or hint on how to create a bylaw to protect your employees. Unfortunately, this is what we've come to, but this is really, really needed, and it's a good tool. So it's a good thing that we got together and worked on this.
Yeah. And we contributed to this, not only the information, but some dollars so that this project could go through. So as well, we will be meeting with Manitoba Heavy Association, UDI, as well as Centerport Canada. Then we'll have roundtable sessions with watershed districts and municipal public works.
Jennifer,
So, yes.
Who is the Urban Development Institute? Who is that?
UDI.
So
That's
government.
That's the development industry for Manitoba.
Okay.
So certainly the major developers are there, plus a number of
Okay.
others that are doing development projects.
Okay.
It's not the one-off people, it's the
It's
ones who do
Yeah, okay.
larger development
Yeah.
projects.
So is Lanny the
Lanny
CEO?
McInnes acts as the CEO.
Yeah, so he's the CEO.
He's the CEO of UDI plus Manitoba Home Builders Association.
Good.
So we'll be meeting with them. And then that with Indigenous engagement, and I think we're finally done. So renewed regional plan. So, the staff continue to work on defining the themes. And then we have a timeline. So that's something that I would like to go over now, because I know there was a lot of discussion at the last meeting around timelines. So now we just have to understand what are some of the implications there with respect to meeting the January 1st, 2027 deadline or adjusting the timeline.
Don't let the first one stop your heart. It's just par for the course.
Yes, it's just, this is what happens if we, because somebody had, I'm not gonna lie, somebody from media reached out and talking about how do you feel about people accusing you of your tight timelines? And these aren't my tight timelines. These are the timelines that have been set in or that has been set in regulation. And not only that, and then we were given more time. And then that's January 1st, 2027. So that is in regulation. If we are to meet that, this is the path that we go on, okay? And then this is, I hope this doesn't come across as a lecture, really. I just want this to come across as a reminder and address the elephant in the room. So we know that Springfield has left, and it's unfortunate. This is now from me and my 2 cents on this. It's unfortunate that regional planning has become so political. And I've been asked the question, what is the value of the region? Time and time again. And so I talk about the opportunities that appear when we work together with strategy and purpose. I talk about the fact that it's access to funding. It's about regional projects being prioritized, both provincially and federally. It's about investment dollars coming to our province. But that message doesn't seem to be resonating. So, Metro Vancouver just received $1.5 billion over a 10-year period for transit funding. We know that there's other federal pots that are out there. So this is a coordinated approach, and that's the message that resonates with me. But at the same time, I'm not tone deaf to the fact that you're under political pressure right now. I absolutely understand that.
I think that's what needs to be on our website.
So if you
And that the federal government is really looking to support regional
Regional
planning
over-
funding. Like that, to me, is huge. When I saw Vancouver getting all that, I kind of felt bad for Selkirk, sort of. But that's the federal government wants to see plans, right? Like I think that's how I explain it to people. Why do you want to do a regional plan?
And it's just transit that I know of, but if we start exploring, I guarantee you there's more pots of money that are out there that we have access to. So I think also, if we look at the history of this, when regional planning conversations first began, and that was with the NDP government, and then it transferred over to the PC government, and now it's back with the NDP government, there were a few approaches that were on the table, and that included amalgamation, annexation, and collaboration. So the path that we are on today is a deliberate choice to focus on collaboration and a renewed approach. This is a renewed approach to working with municipalities that are willing to work together and respecting local authority and recognizing that these communities are already connected through jobs, through transportation and services.
Okay, that's what I have been reiterating: amalgamation, annexation, and so Rosser's not going to get anything. Cartier's not going to get anything. St. Francis, if it's regional, that's where it's going, because they're no longer going to help you with the water line by yourself. Those days are gone.
Yeah, I think though the problem we're having from my political point of view is there's no, it's all talk, no action. Like, I mean, I think if the province and the feds actually wanted to demonstrate something, they would support some kind of a regional activity. They keep saying, well, pull a plan together and we'll look at funding it. I think the problem is I can't point to a regional project that they funded. And so, I mean, I that's a challenge to try to make the argument.
Yeah.
It's like people say, well, okay, what? I don't have a what. Like, I don't know one single.
There's
regional-
not a carrot dangler to say, okay, those ones that left, they're not getting this.
Exactly.
Or
I mean,
what's the benefit of staying? We got no proof.
Other than words on a paper, which is fine. I'm not disagreeing with what the words say, but I mean, the reality is you talk to a residents or, they, well, what? Show me, give me one example. And I don't have an example.
We've got a,
Well,
go ahead, Domer.
all they refer to now is the failure. I'm sorry to say it. That's top of the line. Right?
Yeah.
We have nothing to show as a benefit. All we have to show really is
The decline.
Is the failure.
Yeah,
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we got ran out of town the first round, and now what have we got? We have 6 municipalities that are left. We have 2 municipalities that have changed representatives. So what are we looking at? I mean,
Well,
that's the
I think
reality
so
of it,
this now goes into the timeline, so if we can go into the timeline, then we can have more discussions about,
I'm
because
just
this,
concerned there'll be nobody left by the time the timeline is implemented. You notice they're kind of, if you noticed a trend there, like
Well,
we're
I think
down.
that's a discussion
Yeah.
that we'll have later on, re the upcoming meeting with the minister.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree
I
with
think
you,
that's
Mike. Sorry.
better
Yep.
conducted during that.
okay, so can we go to the second slide here? So regional planning, so the purpose of today's discussion then is to clarify the regional plan timeline and next steps, understand the implication of timeline decisions, and prepare for upcoming meeting with the minister. So the minister will be meeting with us in February. So even this, what I've just shared with you, this is also to be shared with the minister.
Yep.
Okay, next slide. Okay, so preparing for the draft plan release. So these are the actions that we are taking. We are continuing engagement, continuing to incorporate this information into the draft plan. We are drafting the preliminary engagement summary report, and that's gonna have the public survey results. Next slide. In February, we continue engagement, and that will conclude hopefully the engagement, because we need to get this draft plan out by February. We will have then a engagement summary. We're drafting the engagement summary report that will incorporate then the municipalities and the stakeholder feedback. In February, we are also anticipating the release of a capital planning region regulation amendments. We don't know what that is going to look like, because it could be an overhaul of all of that. And then we have to process that and then see how does that affect us moving forward. And as I said in our last meeting, I anticipate through the recommendations to the province and the actions that the province are taking, that your feedback was well received and they are making changes accordingly. In March is going to be the draft of the regional plan to the public, and then the final engagement summary report. So this is what we've heard, or as Mike would say, this is what you said. Okay. So this is the timeline. So next steps. So the plan is released in March. What happens after the release, including the adoption process and subsequent steps, depends on the pathway chosen. Today's discussion focuses on the post-release considerations.
Okay, are you thinking that it'll be the end of March, middle of March?
By the next meeting. So, and by the next meeting, and then 7 days before our next meeting, so that'll be March 12th. March 12th. So originally, when I was speaking with councils, I was saying stick around until you see what those recommendations look like and what this new plan looks like. Right, because you're looking at some of those sticky points, whether it's, density targets or what have you. Like, we took that into consideration. This plan is going to look very different. We need to get a plan that's in front of everybody, that everybody can stand behind. And then we can make incremental changes along the way. But right now, we just need something that everybody can stand behind. And that happens, March 12th, that you'll see it. And it's not just a week that you get to review it, right? But that's when, because you're the board, we're obligated 7 days in advance to provide you with that package. You'll receive it, and then it goes out to the public, and then
Natasha's got her hand up.
we look at it. Yes.
I just wanted to confirm the March 12th date. Is that before or after the annual fee is due?
I don't know what the invoice says, Natasha.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have the invoice in front of me. Yeah.
Okay, I'll look into that. Thank you.
Okay.
That is interesting.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So considerations and implications, so there's the path of maintain the timeline that we shared with you at the last meeting, delay the timeline. So we do know that your request to the minister to delay the opt-out date has been communicated to him and waiting for a response on that. Next slide. Okay, so this is the timeline. So the plan is released. April, then there's the review of the plan by the board, decisions on the amendments by the board. And then this timeline has first reading in May, public hearings in June, second reading in summer, and then fall, the regional plan is provided to the minister. Okay, next slide. So what are the considerations and implication? This meets regulatory timeline for plan submission. The formal public consultation process then, if this is the timeline that we follow, it needs to be initiated in February. So when I talk about in regulation, it's 60 days before this and 20 days before that, and we have to post this for X amount of days. It's like quantum physics that Natalie and the team have figured out. And if we follow that timeline, that means that public consultation needs to be initiated in February as per the
What does
regulation.
initiated mean?
Means we have to have.
Yeah.
have
The
to have a
report's not
public-
out, like it's not out until March.
So,
What am I
sorry, you're
missing?
saying this
So the
February?
public consultation would just be, this is regional planning, not exactly on the regional plan, but we're obligated to talk about what is regional planning.
Is this
what
a
does it
hearing?
look like. No,
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay, I thought, okay, early.
no, It's
On the regional plan.
just-
public
Okay,
is-
sorry, no, that's fine. I just wanted to
Just-
get the clarification.
Yeah, just public consultation, so it means
Okay.
appearing
That's fine. Okay, I'm good with that.
so that we are reaching out to mass numbers of people to let them understand. It's maybe more education.
Okay, that's fine.
So how do you do that? What's like, how do you actually do it?
We're gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah.
We don't know what that looks
Okay.
like. If anything, it may have to be virtual
Okay.
because we are reaching out to so many
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Important to get it out there.
And also it's just, it'll be sections.
Yeah.
Right, so maybe sessions so that over maybe a period of a few hours.
And
so
you're just
that-
talking about regional planning,
Just talk about regional planning.
just sort of a
just
high
talking-
level, why it's important, like why we need it, like those kind of things.
Yes, not
Okay.
the regional plan.
No.
Okay,
The
okay,
Regional plan
Okay.
is
got it.
Maybe a little bit too about what we've been tasked to do by the province of
That's
Manitoba.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I just wanted to clarify.
So the plan, and I'm going to say, Natalie, is there anything that I need to?
For the public consultation part, it's like an open house, like that's the typical approach for that stage is, you know, what are your priorities, what do you think are the challenges, what do you wanna see as a community, those types of approaches.
Okay, so that would have to be done in February. And then that means that the plan will be given second reading by this existing capital planning region board. Third reading and adoption will likely be the new board. After,
So the first readings and second readings, they're done by the board, they're not done provincially? Okay,
yeah, so they're done by the board, then it's sent to the province.
Okay.
Then the province makes either recommendations and then it's sent back to this board for third reading.
Okay.
Okay, so next slide. So if we adjust the timeline, right? So I did go back and listen to our last session and some of the comments there. So March, I still believe a draft plan should be released by March. People need to understand this is the plan. It's not scary. This is what it looks like to coordinate.
Does that give, okay, so you say draft plan,
Mm-hmm.
but if it comes, like the real recommendations come out March 12th, let's say, how long, like you're putting pressure on the planners to make sure that the changes are in there or
from the
you'll-
public consult
Yeah, like,
in February, like the February public
Yeah,
consult,
yeah.
I don't know, I'm trying to piece that together.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So the February consultation, like, because we still now have that period where the draft plan goes out.
Yeah.
And we're
Okay.
potentially receiving feedback
Okay, so we'd have
on
to
it.
make that exceptionally clear. Right?
Yeah, I mean, there'll be lots of.
Yeah.
There's not lots of time, but there's
No.
opportunity for change, just like when you receive first draft on March 12th.
Yeah.
All of you have work to do within your municipality and at the board meeting and afterwards, so that you get the appropriate feedback back to Jennifer and the staff
Yeah.
as it relates to changes.
And then remember that there was the public survey that was done, and then all the consultation with the board, the stakeholders and you know, the province of Manitoba, the Technical Advisory Council. So then the draft plan is released. So we are incorporating from the survey, the public survey, what those priorities
So what's the window of time of the public information or consult that starts in February? Just February, or what's that window of time that people can give feedback
Help me with this.
on a regional
It would
plan?
likely be a one-time event,
So it'll be done by the end of February.
we would have one evening of open
Consultation.
house type style of
Right.
consultation.
Right.
That is regulatory, so it has to be done a certain amount of time before the
Right.
first reading. So that's
Right.
why it's tricky to figure out all the dates.
Right.
That would be incorporated and collected by us,
Sure.
and we would provide you all of that summary.
Via the 12th.
Jennifer mentioned, by the April meeting.
Will it
So
be-
the April meeting serves to provide you all the feedback we've heard since the release of the
Yeah, I think that has to be really clear, because if this comes out on, they have a little feedback or consultation in February,
What are you hiding now?
and then it comes out on the 12th,
Surprise.
people are gonna think that is in that,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So,
I think part of the problem is, we're having provincial terminology at a municipal level, like the word reading. That's
yeah,
not what we think of as a
Right.
reading.
right,
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 at
that's what I
provincial
was
level.
thinking.
And a consultation is really more of an information session, not a
Yeah,
consultation.
maybe that's important.
And so the
Information
terminology,
sessions,
What I mean.
Huge.
the terminology that we've inherited
Yeah.
is quite different than what we're used to. Wes, you've got your hand up?
You're muted.
Can't hear you.
There, how about now?
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, there's all this talk about the plan and what we've done and building it and everything else, and I'm just gonna take the elephant out of the room, that my question is, and the thing that I think everybody is waiting for, is how the voting is gonna be weighted. That is all dependent on how many municipalities you are going to have sitting at the table when it comes to this. And that's the question that doesn't seem to get answered at any of the meetings that we've had or any of the stuff that we've talked about. And that is the biggest concern, especially with my municipality, is the weighting of the votes. And once that gets figured out, you will know how many people I think you're going to have sitting around the table.
And Wes, I think we're gonna find out in February.
Yeah, that can only be answered by the province, because that is regulation. It's obviously been raised with the province by every one of you in your individual meetings with the minister, and in any general meetings we've had with the minister, both ministers that we've had since the formal formation, and that is where the resolution is. And later in the meeting, when we talk about the upcoming meeting with the minister, I fully expect that to be on the agenda next February.
Yeah.
It'll just be a clamor for who gets to ask it.
Okay,
So-
no, and that leads me to the kind of a part B of the question, that seeing Springfield pulled out, McDonald pulled out, how many municipalities have to pull out before this plan is kind of kicked to the wayside, like Delmer alluded to, that it's a failure. We talk about this every council meeting. It is first and foremost. And without, we're talking about moving the plan forward and everything else, until we get by these stumbling blocks, we can't get by that.
And I agree, under the current regulations, yes. And that may be another question as it relates to the minister. as to the regulations changing. Because if the regulations change, not only as it relates to the voting structure, but also what constitutes quorum in the new capital planning region,
We've been waiting since
then
2019. and
that,
we waited another month.
that changes things. Because right now, quorum is based on the original regulations, not what might be the new regulations. And you're quite right, we need to know.
Well, and I hate to be the downer or, Captain Obvious, but these are some of the questions that for Rockwood, I know for a fact, until we have some idea about this, we're sitting on the top of the fence, leaning both direction at any given moment.
Yeah.
Okay, and Wes, that question has been posed to the province several times, that, how many municipalities constitutes a region?
Yeah.
And then there's also now pointing to, and this is Mike's point, that in legislation, there is the capital planning region that we are planning for, no matter who's in or
I think
out.
we'll take that up in a later discussion, absolutely.
Okay, so now if we adjust this timeline, so the draft regional plan is released, and then we do engagement, the phase 2, and prepare the engagement summary reports in spring and summer. There's no, first reading, second reading. October 2026 is the municipal election. That means in November and December, there's the orientation of the new board. Winter and spring is when the review of the plan is with the new board, refinement of the plan, and then summer and fall regional plan adoption. So what are the consequences, or what are the considerations around this? It doesn't meet the regulatory timeline for plan submission. It requires a formal request to be submitted to the minister for extension. Plan adoption process would be initiated by the new board, and then consultation fatigue, because we've been doing this since 2019. So what I'm just trying to show you is just
I think you
what
need
that
to
looks like.
flip that slide back. I think you should put in the provincial election when is that, just so we're aware of it.
2027.
2027.
Fall 27, yeah.
Well, that's true.
Because then that's basically the same scenario we're in now, and
Yes.
they're in that
It
scenario.
becomes their
Exactly.
provincial
Oh my God.
campaign. Okay, next slide.
Mm.
Next slide. Okay, discussion.
Consultation fatigue.
I think we've been having discussion as it's going on too.
I
So, I
think,
mean, these are just the timelines, A and B. What has to be done doesn't change.
Yeah.
It's just a question of when it's being done and how long it takes to do it.
I mean,
Yeah.
my personal opinion and our municipal opinion is that the option A is just way too tight. I mean, it crams right into the
It's
elections
claustrophobic
and
for-
municipal elections, and
Yeah.
I think it's just not functional. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a practical timeline. I mean, we've talked about this before, but I mean, I think the realities of the situation are that I don't think it's a good idea to put municipalities in a
tight spot.
in a tight spot where it's either just go home or, I mean, so I think option B is my preferred.
I don't
option.
think anybody on this board likes option A.
No,
And not to mention the timelines that it does to the staff.
even that too, yeah, I mean, yeah.
The municipalities and the staff. Dennis?
Okay.
So a formal request has gone to the province about a change in timeline. Has it gone?
A verbal,
Opt-out.
a verbal request.
A verbal
The opt-out,
request.
yes.
Sorry,
Opt-out timeline.
the, and the written request.
Oh, written one too?
So a
sorry.
written request has gone from the minutes of the last meeting. We've sent a written request. So we haven't heard anything. We don't know when to hear anything.
I'm assuming
Do you think that maybe, well, we don't know, but when these new changes come about, when is that, the end of February? that maybe we'll hear something more concrete one way or another at the end of February?
Personally, I'm hoping the meeting with the minister
Right, right.
in February
I think that that's.
to have a conversation here first this morning
Right.
to get our ducks in a row. Let's just tell them exactly how it is, and we're in good faith, we're here. And if you're not listening, I'm sorry, but we're out. We're done.
Well, yeah.
Shane, you had your hand up?
My main concern with the first one is having a fake consultation because we don't have a plan to bring out. That's gonna be viewed as, well, this is bullshit.
No, the February one?
Yeah.
That's
Well, that's not a
information
consultation.
session.
Yeah,
Doesn't
but
matter.
it's gonna be viewed the same way.
It's gonna be
Really?
viewed the
Because she's
Same
making
way,
notes
yeah.
to change it to information session.
Yeah, no,
No.
that's,
Oh, no.
I don't care if it's legislation, they're not gonna arrest us for that. And I think we shouldn't do any of that at all.
We've been
Until we
accused of.
actually have a draft plan to present, and we shouldn't have a draft plan to present until we know what the province wants.
Right.
And
I'm
that's
in
really what the
agreement.
June one is.
Yeah.
Okay, the June presentation is the public consultation
Yes.
and the forum for the public to speak.
Mm.
I don't think that's the right term for what February is. June is a whole formal presentation by public after the plan under option one, I should say. The plan is public. The plan has gone out to the municipalities, it's on the website, it's public. And then June was the schedule, I believe, on that timeline, that the public would have an opportunity to give its input at a meeting.
And there was going to be a
Natasha had
second
her hand up
survey, there was a
first.
second survey that we were considering as well.
Sorry.
Natasha?
Yeah, so I 100% agree with Shane there. I think if we're just calling it whatever you want to call it, but not providing the meat and potatoes of what this looks like, it is not going to go over well. And I think that residents are waiting for the date of what this event is going to look like and what this information session is going to be. And we need to be ready. We need to know what those answers are. And I think that you can't put the cart before the horse. On a side note as well, from Tashay's perspective, I know the WMR decision is hitting our agenda next Tuesday. So whatever's, discussed at today's meeting, I'm bringing back, and I'm hoping to relay all the positive information that we have the minister coming in February's meeting. I hope to be coming back to February's meeting, but to be frank, they're spooked. They're spooked. They don't want to see this, and without any more information. When do you call enough is enough? So they're hitting their mark here in Taché.
Thanks, Natasha. Janice?
Okay, so again, this is just city perspective. So even if it was marketed as what is a regional plan, why we need a regional plan, the draft is coming out on X date, like even if you marketed it up and presented it in that form, you think people will still be squirrely?
Yeah.
Even if it was like, what
100
is a regional plan?
Janice, 100%.
100%. We
100%.
have a certain group that is targeting
Sure,
this
Sure, yeah,
and feeding alive off of it, and I don't think we need to give them any more ammunition.
yeah.
To be
Okay.
quite honest.
Yeah.
But so for legislature to do this in February, then
Like perfect example, right now, they have gone out and targeted our Hutterite colonies.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
There's 11 of them that surround us. So they're in the
Wow.
weeds, they're there. I mean, they haven't come to council, they haven't. But if they say there's a consultation, I can guarantee you that they're
Okay.
starting to come to council.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it's
so
in the
council-
weeds.
I think we can discuss whether it's not really a consultation,
No.
and two, whether it's worth even having, despite what the rules and regulations say. I realize the regulations may say you have to
Yeah.
have a consultation, but that might be
to your point, they're not gonna.
something posted on YouTube or whatever on the website. What we do as the consultation is another matter.
I agree.
Okay, Natalie had a point?
I just wanted to bring up the fact that that February initiation is really based on first reading.
First time.
So if that moves, then that requirement can move. So if you're more comfortable with having a public consultation post-plan release in March, that's absolutely doable.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
Okay,
everything
there we
go.
kinda
Yeah,
is a dumb mouth.
Yeah,
That's better
The trigger
timing.
puts
On the
everything
nose.
else behind 60 days.
That's better timing.
Thank you, Madam Planner.
Yes, we created the
Yeah.
timeline.
And the second timeline showed that, sorry.
Yeah,
We
that's
created
better.
the option A timeline based on the request from the board to not have public hearings before the summer.
Ryan, can you put up the second
If you
timeline?
do not want that, that is how this will play out.
So then if we don't want the February one and then we do it when the draft plan comes out, that means public consultation will be in the summer during the campaign.
Yes.
Or,
Or whenever.
There
Or
are
we-
specific day requirements in the regulatory side.
well, I think we have to look at the regulatory side too. Because again, if the regulations are going to change, then perhaps as it relates to this, we can get the need for that removed.
Yeah, so where is the, so engagement phase 2 is initiated spring, summer.
That's the non-adoption timeline. If you go back to the adoption timeline.
Do you have any of, do you have any of that?
So you could push this back,
We'll
so,
get it probably.
and again, these are based on board
Okay,
meeting
keep
dates, so if there's flexibility in board meeting dates, things can change.
Because when I saw the first, like the
This is really
original,
what
my
we're
heart
willing
stopped.
to adjust.
And it's
Okay.
not even about our willingness to
No.
adjust, it's about your decision as to which path we're taking, and then this is how it impacts how we're moving forward.
Debbie, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to, it's more of a question than anything. If Natalie is going to speak, could she come closer to the mic? Because I'm having a very hard time hearing her.
Good point, thank you.
Thanks.
Did you wanna say what you said?
Yeah, you maybe should say that again about the
Yeah.
information session if we talk.
Sure. So
Explain it again.
the formal public consultation for the regulatory side of things can be moved. That's no problem. It just depends on when you want to hold first reading. Because the first reading is the trigger for all of that. So if you hold first reading in May, then that needs to happen, or it needs to be initiated next month. If that is moved and we have more time, then we can push the formal public consultation to after the March release.
So Deb will go to the next slide, so Ryan, can you go to the adjusted timeline?
Now, the adjusted timeline, that formal public consultation isn't initiated at all, because that gets initiated by going through the adoption process. So if the adoption process is held back until summer and fall of 2027, there's none of those requirements. It's just more engagement.
Okay.
Okay, and once again, then go to what the consequences are, or the implications, just so that we understand. So it doesn't meet the timeline, we have to do a formal request to the minister to now ask for an extension from the January 1st, 2027, and that is in regulation. And Mike says that's changed every second month.
Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. That is the Planning Act,
No, but, yeah,
Okay, so no,
Regulation
sorry,
can be.
it's planning act.
but it
Yeah.
can be changed by regulation.
yes, we changed by regulation.
Just to confuse.
We just hog tie him when he comes here, that's all.
Okay, and then the adoption process will be the new board, and
And we could all be new.
That's gonna be wow.
Well, no, but
No, you never know. Well, you know your municipality better than anybody.
I struggle with
You've been around? Been around a while.
having to vote on a plan going forward when we don't know what the new regulations are. Like 100% have staff continue with
Yes.
their progress,
yes,
but we don't get a say in what A or B is
no,
until we hear what the actual
you got it.
province is gonna do.
We've been sitting here since 2019. I think we can wait a month or two.
Yeah.
Like we've put in the due diligence, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I think in my mind, there's 3 deal breakers
Yeah.
from our perspective. One is what the plan actually says, which I think you're working on, and that's going along fine. I mean, haven't seen it yet, but I mean, let's assume it meets what a lot of our expectations. The second one is the timeline. Like if you're gonna if the pressure from the province is October, well,
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of decisions that are gonna be made between now and then.
Yes,
And the third one is basically how the governance is gonna work around the table, like voting rights and how obligated some of us are to decisions that are made. So those, if we can, like, I think we were addressing the plan, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You're doing it. I haven't seen it yet, but I think you've heard us. I think if we can move the timeline to the option B, I think that could address a second issue. The third one, I don't know what I realize the
decide.
province has to do something, but I think for some of us smaller members, which are dwindling, the governance and how obligated we are to decisions by the city, and I'm not picking on the city, but the city, or by other the fact that there's non-elected members that have voting rights is a problem for us, by the way. But so I mean, if those three things get resolved, then I think there's a lot more hope for members to stay, at least in my opinion, and maybe even some to come back, because I think that, and I guess my fourth and final one was a comment, is they got to actually deliver on some regional funding for something. Like, I mean, there's no point in talking constantly about a regional
If you're not gonna get it.
plan that's going to promote funding, and we haven't seen a single actual project. Like, I mean, like the feds came forward and said, Capital Region, here's a bunch of money to spend on something.
To speak to that though, we're in a partnership with 5 municipalities putting in a wastewater treatment plant right now.
Oh, I know, but
And it's still a regional plan or regional cooperation.
Sure.
None of us could have done that by ourselves.
Mhm.
And if people don't recognize that
That's a great example.
it's got to be put together, there's no funding for that. Doesn't matter if it's FCM. If you want dollars, it's got to be regional.
Well, I know, and I'm chair of the Cartier Regional Water Co-op too. I mean, I'm not saying there isn't, but I mean, this plan, like that happened without the plan, right?
That's
So,
right.
I mean,
No, but number one, I
so I'm
think,
just saying, all I'm saying is that why not just put a stake in something in the plan and say, this is because you have a regional plan that we're
Yes.
funding this.
oh,
I mean, I think there've always been an appetite for regional, collaboration between municipalities. I'll call that, like we got 7 municipalities in the Cartier Regional Water Co-op, and we all collaborate, we work together, and it's a fine thing. We did that without a regional plan. We did it because and I'm sure your wastewater management or wastewater treatment plant is collaboration between municipalities. So I mean, it can happen without a regional plan, all I'm saying. But but maybe things like, I think transit, for example, is something that would be tough for municipalities to pull together ourselves, because we just don't have the infrastructure, buses and
$3
people
million
and stuff.
buses.
Exactly. So, I mean, I'm just saying, if you actually want to make it real, pick something, make it, give us a project that we can all say, yeah, that's.
I agree totally with that. That's what we asked for some time, eh?
Yeah.
Let's have a win.
Yeah.
first, I would like to hear from the minister.
Yeah.
We were original 16, I'm gonna say. 8 dropped out. Is it still a thing? Like, are you interested? Do we have enough people? That's number one. Okay, number one, okay, you're sold and you're good to go. Okay, now get off your ass and start selling this project, because my $1,600 that I make before taxes each month doesn't cut the shit. You either own this and you say, look, we are supporting it. We are saying this plan is going forward with or without whoever's here, and we're taking ownership. And the ones that are staying, what the benefit is, I don't know, but I want to hear those things from Minister Smart. And if he doesn't say those two things, we're out. Because if they're not going to change the timeline, there's not one counselor, they're going to vote to opt out. That's it.
Okay. Krista, you had talked earlier at exec that the meeting with the minister and some other things were things that you had wanted to go in camera on.
Yeah.
Would you still want to do that, or no, keep going the way we are?
Nope, keep going where we are.
Okay.
Can I just add one thing here? I had media ask me, because the RM pulled out, how the interchange, is that going to impact anything, or the interchange that's being built on McGilvery and the perimeter? And I said, because it's true, that was long in the cooker before that's been in the cooker. It's a safety thing. It needs to happen, right?
Yes.
So, but it was interesting that the media asked me that with the dynamics going on. Anyways.
Well, let's hope that meeting with the minister is gonna tell us some things that we wanna hear, right?
Yeah.
Well, you have to prepare beforehand.
Yeah.
Uh,
So we have to
you
give
have
them
to
some
prepare.
speaking notes.
No, you have to, yeah, you have to give the minister,
What we want.
you know, it's the minister's staff responsibility to prepare briefing notes
Notes
for
for
the
the
minister. It's up to us to then prepare information to give the staff to assist them in preparing the briefing notes. Because there's, as I'm sure all of you see, there's nothing worse than being surprised at a
Yeah.
meeting.
So we've met with the minister
Surprise will get you silent.
and he's told us that there'd be some changes coming. No,
And
we don't know what that is, right? But that's all that we.
And that's why you ask specific questions.
No, but number one, you guys, the province has to own this. We can't take the flack anymore. We have for since 2019, and look what happened to us in Niverville. We don't deserve this. The province wants to go ahead again with the words there, annexation, having the government, if they're gonna go ahead and do what they want, I would rather be at the table helping and being considerate and giving pointers and being helpful than them going ahead and doing what they want.
Well, you pretty well have
I
to.
think the decision is annex everyone and be done with it.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
yeah.
Oh, don't give them a heart attack, Janice.
Kidding.
Oh, how hard it was to get you guys
No,
annexed.
but
No, Headingley's annexed.
I think we need to ask them if they're really seriously gonna adjust the timeline.
Yeah.
And number two, are you gonna own it?
Yeah.
Do a, we said like Facebook campaign or something like that where, and don't allow any comments. Just put it out there that this is, do a media campaign just saying, you know what, this is going on and we appreciate the ones that have stayed at the table. Or I don't know how they wanna word it or do it, but if they don't do those two things, we're out.
I think the biggest issue in my mind is the fact that I have a hard time on the street selling it. Like I can't think, like, I mean, one of the challenges, or my 26 years in municipal politics, I've always felt that I could go to a coffee shop with residents and tell them why we made a decision we made. I have a lot of trouble selling this as like what's in it for us as a community. And, until we get some tangible evidence that it's actually in it. And I mean, and the province can tangibly say, hey, look, we're putting a $50 million fund on the table for regional plan, for regional projects. Or I don't know, pick a number, but I mean, just saying like.
But even, I got stopped on the street at the coffee shop. And right now we're doing a strategic plan for Cartier. And so we're asking the members of the public to come. And they said, oh, is this about your regional planning? And why are we joining Winnipeg to help them pay their bills? This is the mentality that we're getting.
Yeah, I know.
How do like I said, we don't get paid enough for this.
So one thing that I've really experienced, there was this report that came forward in the month or two ago, where the parking authority had this idea that they wanted to have the citizens take pictures of the other
That's a
citizens.
good idea.
Okay? Remember that?
Wow.
So, they didn't want to can it. I wanted to axe it. And when you think about it, you could spend hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to change the mindset, but it's not going to happen.
That's right.
Right? On that was a perfect example.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is a perfect example.
I know.
Like,
So
To get us back online.
Where's the chair?
No, we're off on the line here. Can we go back to, talk about the upcoming meeting with the minister?
Yep.
Specifically, what do we
Wanna-
send to the staff for briefing notes for the minister to address at the meeting in February? Stay on that, please.
I think the example that you used for everyone coming together and getting funding for your water treatment plant, I think honestly, to have some tangible something so people could see, like the bone, what you're saying, like that would be good to ask the minister, just to sort of explain to the minister that having something so people could see the benefit of a regional plan, like having a project that highlights the benefit of a regional plan, makes it real.
Benefits of a regional plan and the benefit of being part of a regional board
Right.
to carry out that plan for
Right.
the benefit of everyone in the region.
I think so. I think
Okay.
I think people really need to have a thing they can connect with, like.
Never since I've been on the board have we ever had anything that we can brag about it.
Nothing.
And that's sad. It's not because of us. It's just because of the system, right?
Yeah, need a win.
Need a win.
Need a win, low hanging
That's a
fruit.
good point too.
Yeah.
Need a win.
It could be a small thing, but maybe deal with that. Let's start with the small ones. I don't care.
Well, I still think, I mean, obviously I had the 4 items. I still think they're all valid and
Yep. Governance, obviously.
governance, timelines,
Yeah, time.
and, you know,
Ownership.
totally an ownership.
Ownership.
And
the
we've put
total-
forward the opt-out timelines and of course which then relate to the plan timelines.
Yeah.
So reiterate those.
Well, no, but even that we like the second approach because it gives time for the recommendations for the province to come and this and that, and then we could be all prepared and it's not a
Yeah.
consultation of regional
I'm
planning.
not sure it would be allowed, and I don't know how it would fit with all of you because you have municipalities to deal with. I would like to see what's being introduced to the House prior to it being introduced to the House. Now, I realize that may put you individually in a tough spot
They're not gonna.
because you may say, well, I can only go back to my time working. If something was done, a change to a code or a change to renovation or building, I saw it before it hit the House every single time. In fact, I helped write it. We should be helping write.
Oh,
goes to the
okay,
House.
I understand where
Yeah,
you're going.
I totally
get it
agree
now.
with you, Mike.
I
mean,
get
it's-
Because once it
Could you
hits
get
the
it?
floor, it's
Yeah.
too late.
It's
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
It's
I
too
mean,
late,
how
it's
much
done.
better advisory board can you get than this when it comes to
Yeah.
municipal relations? I mean,
Representation,
it's like,
representation
Yeah,
is here.
that's your expertise in the entire capital region,
Yeah.
sitting here. We've given input on things, and through the Baird report, there was considerable public input and municipal input, et cetera. And we saw what's going forward there, but once it hits the floor of the House, it's too late.
well, there's never been an opportunity in my experience here to, like typically when you do something, you want to play it back and say, is this what you mean? Is this,
Yeah.
this address your issue? That never comes back to our board, it's, we hear you, we'll write something and we'll throw it on.
And
there.
again, I'd
And
like
so,
to ask that in February, like,
I agree with you, yeah. I mean,
see, now, don't need to see everything that's going to the House,
No.
just what affects the capital planning
Planning
region.
region.
There might be 4 things.
No, I agree. That'd be a good one.
That's a nice ask, if we get it.
Yeah. And again, you may say, I can't do that municipally because if that's shared with me, I must take it to my council immediately. Well, then it's public knowledge and that can't happen obviously till it hits the floor of the House. There may be some difficulties with
We
that.
can do stuff in camera.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, whatever it takes, or you may not feel comfortable, I don't care.
That would be our requirements, I think.
Yeah.
In camera.
Yeah, or however it can be done. I'd be happy in some of the cases if it hit the staff level. At least they know, all right, we've got something to deal with here.
I think if we take a couple of weeks to ponder any questions that we think might come up, it's, as always, I've always got a great idea tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you can always add to it.
I think we just send that in to staff and then that can come out 2 weeks before a meeting with Minister Simard. And
Yeah.
if there's any discussion through email on that.
I think from what I've talked with him so far, he seems to be a pretty straight shooter with what he's able to do. I realize just like there's restrictions on you, there's restrictions on him too as to what he can and cannot do within the structure. But I think I trust the guy.
Oh, yeah,
I don't think
Yeah,
he's
so
ever
we-
BS'd me. So I think we ask in advance very pointed questions and asking for answers as much as possible at that February meeting.
Yeah.
And talking to each of you in person, telling you what's what as it relates to your questions. You know, we talked about here the fact that, you know, when we come up with a plan, well, it still goes to the minister and then goes, I guess, to the government itself and the House to be enacted. The fact that we will be in the loop if there are any changes to that, and involved if any changes are made at the government level, and the fact that that it is the intent of this government to have this as a regional plan for the entire capital region, as put together by this board. A formal statement of support from the minister on that.
So could we get an email sent out just as a reminder?
Certainly.
These are the 4 asks right now.
Oh, yeah.
You have till such and such date if you think of something,
Yeah.
or, you know,
Yeah.
like Shane said, if we get a great idea tomorrow, then
Oh, yeah, can always add, and I'm sure the discussion that we have at the next board meeting with the minister will probably prompt additional ideas. And then if you agree to A, well, here's a corollary to A that would make it even better. Absolutely, Janice.
Do we need to send the minister, his people, kind of our timelines so that this is what we
They
talked
have them.
about?
They have them,
Okay,
yeah.
they have them.
Oh, no,
Is everyone?
Okay.
We are meeting with the minister and premier
Oh.
with the on-bam right now.
good luck.
Doing the map.
Get there.
Good
See you
luck.
later, Shane.
Well,
I'm losing my filter too.
I never had.
I got a question. So the minister, and we talk about the regional plan, like if we're all in the same region, or if this ever gets off the ground, is there any idea of what, say, a future funding model would be? Like if the capital region is getting, or WMR is getting funding, how does that funding model work for the rest of us municipalities? Because
Certainly a
if
question.
we haven't got the say at the table, we're sure not gonna have the say at the funding.
Well, I agree. I mean, at the end of the
So,
day,
I
I mean,
mean-
like, we need some stability in the organization. I mean, every time a member drops out, they lose that funding plus the matching from the city. So I mean,
and I did
it
ask
makes
the
the
minister to
organization
bring
a
that
bit vulnerable to
Yeah.
cash
But even the
flow.
funding we get, like after, if it all come out, we got funding, is there a plan for the funding?
There should be. I don't think there is, but there should be. I agree.
You
Yeah.
mean project funding?
Project funding, you know, if they, like somebody said, if they put $50 million into WMR hypothetically for, how does the funding model
Okay,
work?
so like, okay, so yeah, I'm understanding you, Delmer. So if for some reason, we get approved for $150 billion for transit, okay? It's gonna benefit Rosser, it's gonna benefit Headingley, it's gonna benefit City of Winnipeg. I don't think, transit's coming out to Cartier or St. Francis, to be quite honest. So, but maybe there's a consideration there for our regional
Yeah.
water plant or,
It was like the
something.
project that
Yes.
Shane talked about. It's
Yes.
These 5
Yes.
municipalities, Jim talked about these
Yeah.
7 municipalities.
Yeah.
There will be very few projects that I'll call the original 18
Yes.
municipalities
I
will
agree.
benefit from
I
it.
agree.
You know, very few will,
like,
everybody will, but some will be more westerly, some will be more
Yes.
east, more south, of course.
Well, I mean,
Let's
it
be
could
happy
it
for
could
each
be the-
other.
Yeah, it could be the role of the WMR or capital
Capital planning region.
Capital planning
planning.
region to be a facilitator. I mean, you know,
Absolutely.
for example, I mean, which would be, I mean, that's a function that costs money and requires resources. Just facilitating, never mind the project itself, just facilitating the planning, engineering, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Cost benefit study and so forth.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, I think that's a good, I mean, Delmar's point is good. I mean, how are we gonna fund that and what is it? What is it actually when we come out the end? I mean,
Yep.
That's a good point. I
mean,
think it
who are-
might be
who are-
early for February to
Yeah.
ask that. But it's
No, but it's,
absolutely-
it'll be
Because
critical.
first we need their support.
Mhm. Yeah,
And then okay, you've made the commitment for support.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about funding models because, you know, first we need their commitment.
So,
Absolutely.
so Delmer, like, so now you deal with transportation, so now if you got some RMs that jumped out of here, you're gonna just go around the RM with the bus?
I get,
You charge them more?
Whatever, but you know what I mean?
I know.
We gotta look at the best
Yeah.
thing for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and if one area gets water, good, and we all gotta be happy with that, right? Another area gets transportation, and that's for the most of it, let's be happy with it, that's the way I look at it.
absolutely, but again, it comes down to the governance aspect. of
Well,
it.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's
You
a
know,
lot
like
of
it comes
things
down to
that-
the governance aspect,
Yeah.
because that's fine to say, they're getting this, that's great. I sure, I'll, you know, be glad of the victories, but the governance model will dictate how those victories are
Yeah.
awarded, or how those priorities are selected. And right now, we have an absolutely inappropriate, unacceptable governance model.
You know, and
That's simple.
something that's come up quite often is, okay, the ones that are out of it, we gotta penalize them. I think we gotta look by that. Let's not talk about that.
100% look
Let's not do that, because maybe they made the wrong decision, maybe the people that are there
Yeah.
are making the wrong decision. Let's hope they'll come back.
That's
Let's
right.
build a
That
plan that everybody will want at
Wants
the
to
end.
be a
The
part of.
regional
I
plan,
agree with
and
that.
that's what we need, again, from the minister. The regional plan is for the region,
That's
the
correct.
capital
That's correct.
region.
Yeah, that they put down, if they, people want to play in the sandbox, great. If
Yes.
they don't, well, the plan is the plan for the
Yeah.
whole
Right,
crowd.
right. yeah.
Difference is,
There's no incentive to come
we
back.
won't have the input on it,
And we'll
and
have
as we
input,
go
yeah.
forward, as Delmer says, for the financial plan, the distribution, et cetera, as the funding, the wins come forward, you pretty well want to be at the table when you're talking about that, I would think.
Natasha's hand.
Oh, sorry, Natasha.
Yeah, so will the summary of these notes that you're saying, or the questions, will those be before next Tuesday, that we'll get them via email, or when is that gonna be sent out?
Yeah, they'll be sent out immediately to everybody on the board, asking for your input. They'll be collected, and at least 2 weeks, I would hope 3 weeks before, sent to
Okay.
the minister.
Because I need something tangible to bring back to my council. I've made my own notes here today of what I'm gonna report back. But like I said, it's on our agenda for Tuesday's meeting, so I may or may not even be at the next meeting, so I want to present something helpful.
We have the admin report, and what I'll do is just break down maybe the highlights of that admin report for you.
That'd be
so
great.
that they understand what's going to be happening in, from now until March, okay?
Yep,
Sorry, is
that'd be
there-
great and helpful.
Natasha, it's Jim Robson here. So is the trigger event the invoice? It's coming
The
through?
invoice was one of the, so our invoice, I did just get confirmation, it's due February 9th. So, that would be before our, if they're gonna do the dating, the date timelines. The bigger trigger, they've seen McDonald, they've seen Springfield now. It came up at our Tuesday meeting during our council meeting that Springfield had withdrawn. They wanted to even throw it on for a decision at that meeting. And I said, well, that's not really appropriate because we didn't add it to the agenda, et cetera. We need to give due diligence to this. I have this meeting today. But again, they're hearing a lot of that feedback. They're seeing that, feedback from the residents, want us to opt out. And we haven't been able to deliver the reasons why we should stay. And the conversation today is great. If we can get those answers from the minister next meeting and report back, I think that's fantastic. I do believe in a regional plan. But again, like we've all just said, if we have nothing to present, it's fluff. And fluff means nothing. Fluff doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anybody in the region. So that's what needs to be taken back. So Jennifer, I'd appreciate if you could put something together that I can, show them that this is what the board is now moving forward with at the next meeting with Minister Smart, who is one of the decision makers and can do more than just fluff. That's what I need to bring back to Taché.
And I'll make it for you, but I'll distribute it to everybody.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Well said.
Okay. Nothing further on that. I think we've pretty well discussed the business arising from the previous board meeting. That's what we have been discussing.
I'd say so.
Any new business, Jennifer, that you had in addition to that?
How about, if Springfield is out, do we have to send an updated thing to the minister asking for money to replace Springfield?
Well, we've asked before
Yeah.
with that from the original.
Yeah.
We, when Jennifer and I met with the minister in mid-December, I raised the issue of funding as it relates to lost member funding.
Yeah.
And have asked that the province make up that
Yeah.
funding. Since we are a provincial statutory committee, we are a provincial committee, therefore I ask that the province provide the funding for that. That can be another question
Okay.
that we ask again
Yeah.
in February.
Having money
Yeah.
for our staff
No,
and that is very important.
absolutely. And our next meeting is February the 19th at 9 a.m. Barring horrible weather, I'd ask as many people as possible to come in person
Yeah.
with the minister. Just because I think the face-to-face is always more effective. I know it's difficult sometimes this time of year, but again, this is a good opportunity. And I think it's a good opportunity to ask some very pointed questions and ask for the answers for those priors going forward. Anything else that I may have missed?
I have one.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Over here. Just for the other members around the table, have you all paid your invoices for that you've received?
We just passed resolution last night to pay it.
Okay. How about the rest
Also,
of you?
just as a reminder, it is in the regulation that if you are a member,
You have to.
you're legally required to pay it. So even McDonald and Springfield passing that resolution. I think the thing is not now being released through regulation. There's still that legal obligation. So just, sorry.
Yeah, I was just curious who else had already paid if they knew. St. Clements, Debbie, I see you raising your hand.
Yeah, no, we'll be talking about it on Tuesday, but I'm pretty sure we will be paying it. At this point in time, we have really had no discussion on leaving, so I'm pretty sure we'll be paying it on Tuesday.
Okay.
For the price of membership, I'm sure each municipality has paid more money for worse things.
I wouldn't disagree with you there, Krista. Not at all. I'm just curious around the table if the rest of you had.
No, that's fair.
Well, for St. Francis and Tasha, we haven't, I don't believe we passed anything yet. It'll be coming up on the agenda. Yeah, it'll be whether or not, it'll be a discussion.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you.
I think most people want, just what I've heard today, want to hear from the minister.
Yeah.
And just FYI, Delmer and I have a AMM meeting the morning of the 19th. So we've asked Volkov to push it off.
Okay, wonderful.
But I just told Volkov, I'm sorry, but the meeting with the minister is a little more important than just a board meeting. So it's just an FYI.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Krista.
Hopefully you'll make it.
All right. If there's nothing else, do we have a motion to adjourn? Yeah, Krista, Janice, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, if any? Carried, thank you. See you on the
Good night,
19th.
Take care, everyone. Hope to see you.